Hotel History is created for adult audiences. Content may not be suitable for all listeners. Discretion is advised. You're listening to Hotel History. We take you with us through the sordid history and scandals of some of the world's most famous and infamous hotels. I'm Dieta.
And I'm Yael. Let's get started. Hello.
Hey. So should we record a podcast today?
Yeah.
What do we want to talk about?
Let's talk about the hotel phone.
Oh, yeah, we wanted to do that for a while.
You know what the song I was thinking about for this episode that we can't use, but it'd be a shame.
The Lady Gaga one.
Yeah.
Too. I was singing it to myself the whole time I was putting stuff in.
So I'll just put that on the post. But that's my version of the song.
That's spot on.
Really? How is it? And then there's another telephone song. First of all, there's some great songs about telephones.
It's been a pretty integral part of the 20th century.
Lizzo has a song called, which is my favorite song. It's like, where the hell my phone?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I also love, there's a really good song called I Can Make You Put Your Phone Down.
Yeah. Oh, but I'm now getting confused with Ring My Bell. Ring My Bell. But that's not the same thing.
No, it's not. I don't think that's the bell they're talking about.
No, I know. Anyway.
So
we're talking about telephones.
So I didn't realize this, but this year, 2026, will mark the 150th anniversary of the first telephone call.
Seriously?
Yeah, we're only a couple months off.
Wow, so the phone has been around for 150 years.
Yep, the first successful one was made in 1876 by Alexander Graham Bell to his assistant, Tom Watson, on March 10th, 1876 in Boston. So many things happen in Boston.
Boston is where, the revolution
started. I don't want a revolution. I want a revelation. Bell famously said...
Is that what Bell said?
Bell famously said, Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you.
Okay, that's weird. What was he, like 2 feet away from the phone?
This historic moment, just 3 days after Bell received his telephone patent, proved the technology worked, transmitting human speech electrically and ushering in a new era of communication.
How does this tie into hotels?
I'm so glad you asked. So I feel like anyone who's followed us for any amount of time has noticed probably in our videos that we're constantly finding the old phone in the hotel and trying to use it. Sometimes they are still connected to things. And
many times they are still working. And I was unaware and I pick it up and someone's like, hello. And I'm like, I gotta go.
So sorry. Well, the first telephone call ever made in a hotel was supposedly also made by Alexander Graham Bell a year later in 1877 at London's prestigious Brown's Hotel on a visit from Boston. He wanted to test his invention out before presenting it to potential funders, so he needed access to a telegraph wire in private hands. London did not have a ton of telegraph wires in private hands, but the owners of Brown's Hotel, James John Ford and his son Henry, did have one. It spanned the 7 kilometers from Brown's Hotel to their family home in Ravenscourt Park. So Bell arrives at the hotel carrying a large handbag full of equipment and attempts to make the call from the hotel's front desk. But it was a busy time of day, and all the messages carried by all of the neighboring wires kept interfering with his signal. So he waited until the middle of the night and was able to successfully make his call from Mayfair to Ravenscourt Park. And that was the first call ever placed in a hotel, ever placed in London, and ever placed in all of Britain.
Of course, the hotels are where everything starts. At first, only upscale hotels would have offered a phone to its clientele. If the hotel had a phone at all, then it was located at the front desk. As phones grew in popularity, upscale hotels would also offer a phone in the lobby for guests to call an outside operator. Yeah, I do you remember when we went to the was it the Mayflower that had it? That had like the phone booths?
Yes.
I feel like when you think of phones in hotels, you think of phone booths. Like, yeah, you go to the front desk, they'll send a message, or you go and make a
Hmm.
call at the phone booth.
Yeah.
In 1894, the New Netherlands Hotel in New York, which had just opened in 1893 in the same Millionaires Row neighborhood as the Waldorf the Astoria and the original Plaza Hotel, installed phones in every single guest room, making it the first hotel to offer more than a phone at the front desk or lobby.
So you know this hotel was for the
So
elite.
this hotel was $10 a night
Yeah.
back then. A newspaper commented the phones were installed so that the millionaire who is ill may transact his business in bed. That kind of makes sense,
Yeah.
though. So, yeah, of course, hotel phones in the rooms are for the rich, at least back then.
Even hotels at the front desk were for the rich. I think the
That's
normal
true.
hotels did not have a phone at
Yeah.
this point.
But just to compare, so they're the first. I don't know if that hotel even exists anymore, the New Netherlands Hotel.
The building still exists, but it's now an apartment building, I believe.
Yeah. So they really were ahead of their time in 1893. The Waldorf Astoria installed phones in all of its guest rooms after it was relocated and rebuilt in 1931.
Yeah, so big time jump for another very luxury hotel
Yeah.
to do the same thing.
Prompting them to also offer the first call out room service for their elite clientele. So, yes, they might have been later in the game, but they were like, we have a plan.
Yeah, we know how to help this make us even more money.
So, by 1931, it wasn't common to have a phone in the room.
No, only these luxury hotels. It kind of caught on for the luxury hotels, but definitely not for your average hotel.
Okay.
You're going down to the front desk if you gotta make a call.
When hotels started adding phones to rooms, they needed switchboards and switchboard operators. I forgot this about phones.
Yes. Operator.
By the way, they all eavesdropped on your conversation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My great grandmothers worked as switchboard operators and they 100% eavesdropped on people's
You can't
conversations.
have any secrets. They were like the government. Hotel phone switchboards were manual systems that connected incoming calls to the correct room or extension. An operator, typically wearing a headset, would plug and unplug cords to manually route calls, which was essential for internal hotel calls and connecting long distance calls before dial phones became widespread. And the operator was almost always a woman. I mean,
come on. So originally, back in 1878, the Boston Telephone Dispatch Company had started hiring boys as telephone operators. They had been very successful as telegraphy operators doing the wireless telegraph. But apparently, the dispatch company didn't feel their attitudes, lack of patience, or behavior was acceptable for live telephone contact. So the company began hiring women instead.
because women are more well behaved. I have another theory why they also chose women.
Why?
Okay.
Pay. Operators continued to be. Yeah.
I have a theory.
Sorry. Well, you said pay. I think that sums it up.
No, I didn't say pay. I said wait.
Oh, I thought you said pay. I was like, oh, obviously, yeah, they could pay them less.
Oh, that is an obvious one. I didn't think about that. No. This is my other reason. Because I think low key, there were some spies for sure, especially at this time. Spies. And even if not spies, companies and picking up just eavesdropping for the company. And let's face it, who's gonna get more information? Who's a better detail oriented? I'm paying attention to what someone's saying on the phone is gonna do. It's gonna be the woman versus a young boy or kid or whatever. Like, even a man, like they'll be like, huh, what'd you say?
For sure.
I think they're gonna take the cash at that place. I wasn't paying attention, but that's just my theory. Okay.
So operators continued to be mostly women until the early 1970s when men were once again hired. So this sounds exactly like flight attendants, like we talked about in our Fly Girl and TWA episodes, because flight attendants started out as men, quickly changed to women, was almost 100% women for decades. And then in the 1970s, when men finally started like suing and being like, hey, this is discrimination on gender, they finally were able to get hired again.
If you just did a good job, I'm kidding. No, it's totally discrimination. But if you did a good job the first time, maybe.
In many cases, customers came to know their operator by name.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because if you got the same lady answering.
Yeah.
Do you remember that scene in Mad Men? Peggy gets introduced to the switchboard people. And like, it's the same girls, and like I think she brings them flowers or something. She like gifts them so that she can be in their good graces.
Oh, yes. Oh, and then there's that episode of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel where she tries to work the switchboard. Like she gets moved from her job at the department store. She gets moved from her floor job to the switchboard.
Yeah.
Fascinating. When a guest or staff member made a call from a room, a light would blink or a signal would appear on the switchboard to alert the operator. The operator would pick up a plug and connect it to the correct jack for the intended recipient. For calls outside the hotel, the operator would have to connect the call to a long distance line, often routing it to another operator at a different switchboard until it reached its final destination. No wonder the connections were not great.
And that probably cost a lot of money.
Yeah. And then with the invention of the rotary dial in the 1930s, guests could dial some numbers directly, but the switchboard remained necessary for calling the front desk, other rooms, and long distance calls. As automatic dialing improved and touch-tone phones emerged in the 60s, the need for manual switchboard operators drastically decreased. And of course, today, the technology has been completely removed.
So we got some interesting celebrity phone stories. We talked about the hotel switchboard a little bit in our first Mayflower episode because Hollywood star Jean Harlow supposedly worked as a phone operator at the hotel while she was staying there. It is a long-standing hotel legend that she was so intrigued by the Mayflower Hotel switchboard that she spent a morning as a stand-in operator during one of her visits to the Washington, D.C. landmark. This anecdote has never been verified, but Harlow did go to Washington in January 1937 for President Franklin D. Roosevelt's annual birthday ball to raise money for the Warm Springs Foundation. The birthday bash was held at 7 different hotels, including the Mayflower. During her trip, she attended 22 events in 2 days and caught the flu that would set off a chain reaction of health problems that would eventually take her life at the age of 26. So she could have.
Maybe not in a morning. I think that she's supposed to have stayed at, I want to say, the Wyndham. She's that on that trip. So she didn't stay at the Mayflower on that trip. But I still feel like at the party, she could have just been like, what's that room? I want to go in there and be a switchboard operator.
Yeah, I'm sure maybe there was like a kernel of truth.
Yeah.
And they kind of went with it. Yeah. Or maybe that's how she got sick.
Oh,
she was hanging out with all the other operators.
Shouldn't have been putting your mouth so close to the receiver. No, she got sick because the man she was traveling with, her co-star, had a cold as they traveled, and she and her mom got sick from him.
But she had underlying issues that like.
Well, she was already very frail, and she had been working extremely hard to finish the movie that they were in together, because the only reason the studio let her come to this event was if she finished her movie beforehand. So she was like killing herself to finish the movie.
Right. She's so young. 26. God.
26. I can't imagine. The Hotel Pennsylvania was a hotel at 401 7th Avenue in Midtown Manhattan, across from Pennsylvania Station and Madison Square Garden. Opened in 1919, it was once the largest hotel in the world. When the hotel opened, American architect which was, I guess, a magazine for architects, said the telephone exchange was the largest of its kind ever built. Early in its existence, the hotel was assigned the phone number 212-736-5000. The phone number was more commonly known as Pennsylvania 65000, as written in the 2L plus 5N format that was common then. During Glenn Miller's 1940 engagement at the hotel, Jerry Gray wrote the famous tune Pennsylvania 65000, with lyrics later added by Carl Sigmund. And that, of course, made use of the hotel's telephone number.
That's the story of that
Never
song?
knew that.
I had no idea.
I always wondered what exactly that was even about. I had no idea.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's so funny. I originally heard that song when I was younger, and me and my sisters and my mom love this band called Brian Setzer
Yes,
Orchestra.
we used to listen to that CD
Yeah.
constantly.
Constantly.
Pennsylvania 65000.
Yeah, and that's where I like that song got stuck in my head, and I'm like, what the fuck is this man talking about? As the phone spread across the country, more and more businesses and hotels offered them for guest use. At some hotels, like the Beverly Hills Hotel in Los Angeles, being paged for a phone call became a matter of prestige. It let everyone know you were there and in demand. Ugh, I could totally see that.
Yes.
The tradition of being paged for phone calls at the Beverly Hills Hotel started in the bar of the Polo Lounge in the 1940s. Robert Anderson, the great grandson of the hotel's original owner and the hotel's historian, described it as a little person dressed like the Philip Morris bellhop walked around carrying a chalkboard with bells on it, with the guest's name written in chalk. As the pool became an equally important retreat, operators would forward calls to the pool office. There, they would announce over a loudspeaker the name of the guest who was being sought. When the guest had been located, one of the pool boys, or Sven Peterson, the pool manager and lifeguard, would bring over one of the clunky beige push-button phones for the guest to take the call. The phones had extra long cords so they can travel throughout the patio and pool area. Okay. This kind of reminds me about being in school and the principal or someone, the secretary, being like, blah, blah, to the office. And if you knew you weren't in trouble, you're like, I'm getting called. My mom called the office before everyone had phones. I don't know. It's giving the same vibe. Like,
Yeah.
excuse me, I
have to take this.
I gotta take that. That's so funny.
Elvis was infamous for phoning friends, girlfriends, and acquaintances at all hours, often from his hotel rooms while on tour. At the International Hotel in Las Vegas, where he performed residencies, staff reportedly struggled to keep up with the sheer volume of calls coming from and to his room. Operators would recognize his voice instantly and sometimes screen calls to keep fans from tying up the switchboard.
Okay. He was just taking calls from fans.
I guess there was no way to stop it in the beginning.
You don't have to answer the phone.
Well, then your phone's just going to be ringing off the hook nonstop. That would be, I bet he would just have to like take it off the hook and leave it. But he also was notorious for sleeping with his fans. So yeah,
that's
I'm sure
what
was.
I'm trying to get to. That I don't think he was plugging out his phone. And I think that the fact that the calls were coming from his room as well as going into his room.
Well, yeah.
He couldn't keep up at all hours of the night.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to call your manager at 3 a.m. Absolutely.
Your manager's a 16-year-old girl? I don't think so. We all know what was going down. Okay. I want to know if there's a memoir out there written by a operator. And I want to hear the stories of that.
I know. Did they have to sign NDAs back then?
At this point, well, you think they'd still be alive? Yeah.
Yeah, they'd still be alive.
Do you have to sign it, keep an NDA if the person's dead?
I don't know.
We got to get to the bottom of this. During their famously stormy relationship, Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton stayed in some of the world's grand hotels: the Dorchester, the Plaza, the Beverly Hills Hotel, and probably like literally every hotel.
Every hotel.
Hotel switchboard operators later claimed they can hear shouting matches or tearful reconciliations over the phone while connecting calls. Some operators allegedly delayed connecting calls on purpose to give the couple time to cool off.
Oh, they're relationship therapists. like,
That's
like Liz
hilarious.
is a little heated. We need to give her a few minutes. Sorry, we're trying to connect the call.
I wonder if one of them is just like, don't connect me right away. I need time.
Yeah. Frank Sinatra was known to hate being put on hold. At luxury hotels in Las Vegas and New York, staff were warned that Sinatra must always get an immediate line. No transfers, no waiting music. One story claims he once berated a hotel employee simply for routing his call through the operator instead of giving him a direct line.
I mean,
He really sounded like a piece of work.
yeah. I mean, he got what he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was very influential, and he was a little bit mafia like.
Yeah.
While living at the Plaza Hotel in New York, Truman Capote reportedly used the hotel phone as a social weapon. Surprise,
That's
surprise.
so Capote.
Yeah. Calling friends late at night to gossip, deliver dramatic pronouncements, or invite people to impromptu gatherings. Ugh, this bitch. It's like, no one, I'm only inviting the best of the best to come to my room, right? Switchboard operators became accidental keepers of Manhattan literary gossip, recognizing his voice and bracing themselves when his calls lit up the board. I'm telling you, these switchboard operators know the tea.
Absolutely.
I want to know it too.
Howard Hughes, who we talked about a lot in our TWA episode, famously lived in hotels for years, including the Desert Inn in Las Vegas, where he communicated almost exclusively by phone because he was such a hermit. He would not leave his room.
Yeah.
He made endless calls to staff with increasingly bizarre requests, adjusting room temperatures by degrees, changing window coverings, or firing employees remotely. He also called to buy businesses across the street that wouldn't turn their lights off that he wanted off, insanity. The hotel phone became his tool of control, and staff reportedly dreaded seeing his extension light up.
Oh God. I would also. I would dread any of these people's phone calls. Several classic Hollywood stars, including Peter Sellers and Orson Welles, were known for making elaborate prank calls from hotel rooms, exploiting the anonymity of hotel phones long before caller ID. Switchboard operators sometimes caught on mid call but rarely intervened. Okay,
It's not their place.
first of all, it didn't stop with them prank calls and even with caller ID. Hello, have we not star 69?
Yeah.
Like, and why
That never
would they
worked for me. I always tried that when I was a kid, and that never worked for me.
But wait, was it star 69 that blocked your phone number, or you can find out who really
It was
called you?
supposed to call back whoever had just called you.
It didn't always work,
It did not.
but there was something else you can do that you can block your number. And like now today, it's really easy because you can create a fake number.
Yeah.
But why would they intervene? That must be so
I know.
entertaining.
That would have been hilarious.
Imagine Orson Welles' prank calling me. That sounds like a good time.
In 1948, Sheraton was the first hotel to institute a telex system for hotel reservations network. Telex is a telecommunications system that allows text-based messages to be sent and received by teleprinter over the telephone lines. So this was like text messaging before text messaging. Telex emerged in the 1930s and became a major method of sending text messages electronically between businesses in the post-World War II period. The telex system allowed travel agents to book hotel rooms and even airplane seats by sending codes and confirmations over dedicated lines. The usual method of operation was that the message would be prepared offline using this paper tape that they would put holes in for the message. And then once the paper tape had been prepared, the message could be transmitted in a really short amount of time since you got charged by the time it took. But if you needed to, both the sender and the recipient could type on the keyboard that was on it as well to do it immediately. So this was your very first reservation type system, like
It
to
was
be
like
able to
a
book easily.
resi online reservation meets fax machine
Yeah,
meets text
pretty
message
much. Pretty yeah.
meets secret code messaging of World War II.
Yeah.
Interesting. In 1957, Hilton Hotels began offering direct dial telephone service. This allowed rooms to dial out local calls and be billed for them, which hotels would have viewed as a great revenue source. Another feature was single digit dialing for various services: room services, valet, concierge, front desk. Each would have a single digit assigned to them, and the phone dial would have a directory on the outer mount. So they still have that.
Hmm.
For long distance calls, hotel operators would ask for time and charges, record them, and add them to the guest bill. I feel like, I mean, it's only recently long distance is kind of like not a thing anymore
Yeah.
because of Wi-Fi. But when I remember going to hotels and they're like room service, this and this. That hasn't changed.
Yeah, that still exists.
Yeah, but that's been around since 1957, and the Hilton hotels. Okay,
Hmm.
so each hotel has their little
Yeah, their own
stake in
little
the
innovation
yeah.
that they came up with. In
That's so
1958, Sheraton launched Reservatron, the first automated electronic reservation system. Instead of individual hotels managing bookings manually, Reservatron created a central database, a computer system, for all Sheraton properties. When a reservation came in via phone, staff could input it into the system, and then the system would provide immediate confirmation of room availability, a huge leap from previous methods. The technology was adapted from similar computer reservation systems already used by airlines, bringing much needed automation to the hospitality industry. In 1970, Sheraton improved the system with the first toll-free 800 number for hotel reservations.
The next major change occurred in the 1960s when touch tone telephones were introduced. Not only did this improve dialing speed, but the technology also made automated phone menus possible. As technology progressed, hotels enjoyed the luxuries of caller ID, multiple phone lines, call waiting, call transfers, and more. I remember that if you had caller ID, you were fancy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, not everyone had caller ID.
Oh, my God. And if you had call waiting, oof.
Oh, yeah. If you had call waiting, oh my God. And caller ID.
Yeah.
Well, you
Oh,
live in
man.
large.
When we were teenagers and we figured out how to conference call, we would like get 6 of us on the phone at once, not knowing that that was extra, that wasn't just included in your normal phone bill. And so when my mom got the phone bill the first time, she was like, "What have you been doing?"
Yeah. Oh
Oh,
my God. That's so
oh,
funny.
good times. It wasn't until 1982 that electronics manufacturers started making dedicated hotel phones. Teledex introduced the first one and has made more than 15 million phones for hotels across the country since then. That seems really late for there to be like a dedicated hotels style phone. Not until the 80s.
But I gotta say, think about just our technology. Think about the fact that we were born in the 1900s. And we remember the time where there was no caller ID.
Yeah.
You had call waiting. The phone lines were like iffy if you called too
Too far.
long distance, too far. And then remember when you had the internet came and you had to like plug out the phone, or you hear it, you're like, God damn it, I need to use the phone, and someone's on the internet. Like, that was the 90s.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. I think we take for granted how fast phone technology has progressed in the past like 20 years.
Yeah.
If
True. I mean, it's
like
only
it is.
150 years old. So
It's really so maybe it's not that shocking that in the 80s you know, that
hotels
kind
get
of
their
came.
own special kind of phone. Yeah.
Yeah. Because remember before texting there was beepers. I just
Yes.
like the steps that we had to go through. It just I remember all of this. I remember I wanted a beeper so badly because my sister had a beeper, and my sister's your age, so she's a little older. And I guess like that's why you would have a beeper, because you have a social life and you're not like 5 years old.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh my God, I need a beeper. Why I needed a beeper, I don't know. But I I was obsessed. And then the second I was old enough to get a beeper, everyone's like, did you see the new cell phone? I'm like, fuck.
I know.
I just wanted a beeper.
Oh, I know. Well, as early as 1995, the internet phone was born. It took nearly a decade to perfect this particular technology, with the world's introduction to Skype in 2003 as the big game changer. Known as Voice over Internet Protocol, VoIP, systems, they allow for additional control over the guest's stay when they're used in hotels. Each room has its own internet connection via the phone, so that connection can be used to turn on the air conditioning or heat remotely, ensuring that the room is comfortable. It can be used to order room service over the internet. It can be used to help housekeeping track which rooms are vacant or need cleaning without having to physically go door to door. So this voice over internet protocol was a really big step up for efficiency.
Well, now guests can use their own mobile devices to book their rooms, pay for them, and even unlock the door. Without a VoIP phone system, tracking which guest devices went to which room would be prohibitively complicated. But with distinct connections to each room, it's easy. That's, yeah.
Yeah. So
Apps.
VoIP is still
Basically
what they're
apps.
using, but they've now connected
Yeah.
it to our mobile phones.
Exactly.
So the next big question is, with people using their cell phones for everything, will hotels eventually ditch their room phones? Something that was once the ultimate luxury, some people are saying now isn't really necessary.
But we've come full circle because we've now reached modern times of like efficiency and like there are hotels that are very utilitarian, like we give you what you need and nothing else. But what makes a luxury hotel now is kind of going back in time but you can enjoy what it was like back in the 1930s with the decor and the old school phone, and then the the living room and the all this stuff. So it's now just it is a sign of luxury, but for a different reason, is my theory. I really hope they do not get rid of the hotel phone.
So far, it seems like most hotels are not, because people do still use it to call the front desk, to order room service, and also it is a very reliable way to call 911, because if your phone is dead or you lost your phone, like, it's still necessary.
Landlines are still really important. I think you don't know, because it's just, you don't know if a system is going to be down. It's unreliable. It would be very irresponsible for hotels, I think, to get rid of the hotel room phone.
I think so too.
Yeah.
If anything, if somebody comes into your room that's not supposed to be there, you can use it to throw at them.
Exactly.
It's a weapon at the end of the day.
I think hotels should put a little bit more creativity in their phones. And
yes, the ugly hotel teledex phone thing, I know that was made specifically for your needs, but they're ugly.
They're so ugly.
Do the pretty old-fashioned phones.
They're coming back now. For our holiday gift guide, I included something called physical phones, which this woman created, and you can connect it directly to your cell phone, but you're separate from your cell phone. So if someone calls, you can answer, and it's very it's not just a connection. It's very intuitive. The way that she set it up. I was watching like a whole thing about it. And I wonder if that is the future also of the phone in the room, because, okay, if maybe you can connect it to your phone, but it looks like this retro phone, but it's very practical and it feels like you have a landline, but you don't have to have, I don't think it has to be plugged in, because the whole point,
Yeah, I think it connects to your phone via Bluetooth. And then so you can just put your phone away, and if somebody calls you, it'll ring. But otherwise, your phone is much less of a distraction. And you get to hang up again. You get to actually physically hang up, which I miss.
Instead of going, no.
Exactly, pushing that button as hard and angrily as you can.
No, I miss physical phone.
If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator.
Thanks for listening to Hotel History. You can follow us on most social media platforms, Patreon, and Substack by searching for Hotel History or Hotel History Podcast. To connect or collaborate with us, check out our website at hotelhistorypodcast.com. If you like what you hear, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify so we can reach more listeners.